Hi everyone, it's Monday the 7th of November, Simon here, and got an update for you on the forecast looking over the next week or so and thinking about developments as we get through towards the end of the month. First up today, these are the 7 to 10 day mean 500 millibar heights. So these are valid from next Monday through to the following Wednesday. So we're looking at the period from 13th through to the 16th of November. And British Isles is underneath here. Left hand side is ECMWF, right hand side is the GFS model. And what's interesting is the amount of above normal heights here to the north of the British Isles, look, extending right the way into the eastern coast of the states on both models. Quite a deep trough though on the ECMWF to the west of the British Isles, but they've also got a compensatory trough over western Russia too. You notice how the GFS, yes, it's got that trough there, look, in the Atlantic, but not quite as marked as on the ECMWF, and it's tending to not develop this trough as strongly across Europe. Now, these subtle differences between the two mean that ECMWF is bringing in more of a southeasterly flow and therefore a cooler flow across the British Isles, whereas the GFS tending to bring in, tending to bring in more of a southerly flow, hence warmer conditions across the British Isles. So we've got quite a decision to make at the moment as to how this thing develops. However, I'm pleased that high pressure at least seems to be building in, because I went for that during October to be developing during the middle part of November, and it looks as if that's now going to be the case. So we can have some confidence in the forecast at least. Let me show you around a couple of charts today. This is the temperature outlook for Europe for the next few days. This is the first week, so from Monday the 7th to Monday the 14th. Temperatures here around about the 10s to 15 marks across the south, nearer the 5 to 10 across the north and the west. Notice though that during next week things are a little bit cooler, 5 to 10s typically across the country. Relatively near normal temperatures, but even the GFS hinting at a little bit of a cooling down taking place as we get into next week. So that's from Tuesday the 15th to Wednesday the 23rd. Temperature anomalies for the first week, so from today through to next Monday, generally at or above normal here, look, across much of Western Europe. But look what's happening towards the east. Temperatures starting to cool off and going way below normal across parts of Russia and running down, look here, into the eastern Mediterranean as well, and the Near East. So that's something to watch, because if an easterly does pick up, then we could suddenly find these cooler temperatures starting to be fed into the British Isles. Precipitation wise, we've got rainfall, well, most of it out towards the west, look, hanging on generally dry across many eastern areas. That white there is basically the area of high pressure. The following week from Tuesday the 15th to Wednesday the 23rd, look, we've got generally drier weather too. Got some rain around, but not a great deal. And on the anomaly chart, look, this is for the first week, still more dry weather to come across much of the country. It's only going to be these western coasts that really sees anywhere near normal rainfall, but I think even that's pushing it. I think below normal, going into a real deficit across much of Europe, although staying wet, look, across the western Mediterranean. So how do things then shape up if we put some detail onto the charts for the next few days? And we're going to start off by looking at the whole of Europe, and this is how things tending to look as we go through the next few days. Look, low pressure is going to be down there in the Mediterranean. Actually, I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's bring up the the British Isles, and we'll just wait for a moment while this loads in. So we'll do this live because we've just got a new run of the model in, and let's just run this through and wait for it to load up. Here we go, in it comes. Okay, this is what we're going to be looking at during the next few days, and really what we want to focus on is high pressure here, look, across the North Sea. Watch what happens as that high, look, drifts eastwards as we get through in towards Tuesday. The time is here, by the way. There it goes, off towards the east. This is the GFS, remember. Low pressure, look, coming into the west, but always the rain's tending to stay out to the west. These eastern areas staying dry, and by now we're up to Friday. take it into the weekend, and yes, it's trying to bring some more persistent rain into western Scotland and western Wales for a time, but really eastern and southern areas escaping completely, and the high pressure stays there. Now, look, hints of an east to southeasterly starting to come in as we get through into the back end of the weekend. That's something that we need to be watching for. If this does kick in and it goes more of an easterly, we could find cooler conditions during the course of next week. And in fact, that's what I'm going to go for. I'm going to say temperature's going to be falling during next week. I think we could be looking at 5s and 6s by day. It might get to a 9 across southern areas, but I think cooler weather on the way. Yes, it's going to be staying dry, and I don't think particularly severe overnight frosts down in the south and east, although northern and western areas could see some rather severe frosts at times. So this idea of cooler weather coming in next week, dry weather too, looks to be holding firm, and I think that could well continue on through until nearly the end of the month. However, I still think at the end of the month we could be looking at a northerly flow starting to develop, but I'll cover that more for you in the next few days. So overall, the forecast looks as if it's holding fairly steady. Now, the site's kept free by the advertisers that you see around the site here. If you see one you like, do click on it, go through to their site. It supports weatherweb.net. It keeps the site free of charge. It supports the advertisers too. So thanks for watching, and keep the sun shining.